In 1955, a mother made a decision that would shake the world. Mamie Till Mobley's 14-year-old son, Emmett, had been lynched in Mississippi. His body was beaten, tortured, and nearly unrecognizable. At his funeral, she insisted on an open casket. She said, "Let the people see what I've seen." And they did. Jet magazine published the photo. Black America grieved. White America was shaken. That moment didn't just change the story of one boy's death. It changed a generation's response to injustice. Years later, I had the privilege of meeting Mamie Till Mobley. I interviewed her while working at WGRZ TV in Buffalo, New York. She was soft-spoken, but unshakably strong. She was the kind of woman that her presence stayed with you long after her interview ended. And that moment she created, that moment she let the world see, that was the heartbeat. It was the emotional shift that made the truth unforgettable. Welcome to Mini Story, Big Impact, where we're learning how to tell a 2-minute story that connects. I'm Esther Dillard, and if you've been following along, you already have your setup and the stakes. Now it's time to add the heartbeat, the moment that makes people lean in and never forget. In my interview with women's advocate Sarah Cruzan, I asked her what kept her going during the years she was incarcerated. She had been sentenced to life without parole at just 16 years old after surviving years of grooming and sex trafficking. And then she said something almost casually, but with so much power.
And I was determined to be like, no, this is not okay. Somehow innately there was this injustice that I was aware of that had occurred. And I was just going to die trying to get out of prison and offer a sense of hope to others that had life without parole too. The system said I had life without the possibility of parole plus 4 years. And I had to do the 4 years first and then start the life without parole sentence.
Every powerful story has a beat where something shifts, a new truth is revealed, a decision is made, or a belief is changed. A relationship perhaps changes. This moment doesn't have to be dramatic or loud. It just has to feel true to the person telling the story. Think of it like this. If your setup is the current in the water, then the heartbeat is the surge that makes the story rise. And that's the moment that lifts your story out of explanation into real impact. In journalism, we're often taught to find the lead, the who, the what, the when, and the where. But in advocacy storytelling, we search for the shift, the one moment when the person telling the story becomes aware, maybe for the first time, of what they really felt, feared, or needed. That's the moment people remember. And that's what builds empathy. That's what moves policy. And that is really what your story needs to make that big impact. Now it's your turn. Take the story from the last episode and ask yourself what changed, not what happened, not the event, but what shifted in you or in the listener, or perhaps in the emotional truth of the moment itself. That's your heartbeat. Name it, frame it, and feel it. In our next episode, we talk about how to use your voice, rhythm, and even silence to shape how your story is heard. Until then, download the free guide below. And remember, a great story isn't just told, it's felt. Let's keep building stories that move the world, 2 minutes at a time.